Dom
and friends
with benefits.
Kathy.
Oh, lady psycho. Oh, lady psycho. You know what that means. 3 letters, 3 words. NXT, let's fucking go.
Oh, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to this week's episode of the AEW Dynamite Watch Party.
It is Friday, and you know what that means. Only one thing. It's time for Friday Night SmackDown right here on Circle Debate Network for the watch along. It's Kayla, the Queen of the South.
Yo, the GETCHO podcast crew is in the building. That's right, you got your homie Gus.
Yeah. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the latest episode of Game Breaker Sports.
She bangs! Oh, baby, when she moves, she moves.
Yo.
The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language.
Go fuck yourself!
Go fuck yourself.
Go fuck yourself.
Off is the direction you can fuck.
How's everybody's father feeling today?
Escúchenme. Everybody, listen. Ha ha. It's time!
Let me talk to you!
That's right, folks. Let us talk to you, baby. That is right. And welcome, everyone, to the Circle Debate Podcast, episode 261, baby. That is either good, good or worst call. So that's what it is right here in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, here to know the host, Stevens, what I've been seeing with my other host, the man whose brothers need some hoes because this man got hoes all day, every day, because this is what he does.
He'll represent you, and you'll be lucky. He'll win you 1.2, maybe 3. Oh, he's a fucking Pepsi. Just call 1-900-Mussolini. And for a low fee of $3.99, he will give you expert legal advice and a free can of Pepsi.
Pepsi Film, Pepsi, not responsible. See the wrong kind of Pepsi. Top of Wrestling Talk, Circle Debate, are all sponsors that.
Call today.
Money's on the way. Call Pepsi
today. Right now. And remember, he will fight for you.
That's right. He will fight for you.
I would like to make an announcement, please.
Okay, go ahead.
As of today, I too have joined the Don Callis family. Because at this point, it's open enrollment at that mother. God damn. Who the hell ain't in there?
I know, right? Who the hell ain't in there? Oh, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome everyone. Alex, what's up? Sag, of course, Mr. National himself saying National Cinnamon Bun Day. Okay.
Or as I like to call it, National Fatback Day.
Yes, that's right.
National Big Back Day. Sorry.
Oh, man. But yeah,
World. Shout out to them. Make sure y'all think it. Oh, is that the Redeemer I see? Is that the Redeemer?
Yes, it is. He's always in time. And that's what we are too, folks. We are in time. But man, ladies and gentlemen, what a week. I can tell you that. Before we even start, attorney-at-law, do we have any word of the day today? Is there a word of the day today?
I'm gonna say it's unexpected.
Okay. Word of the day, unexpected.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now,
Mm-hmm.
I know some people might disagree.
Mm-hmm.
Based on this week alone, WWE took an L this week.
Mm-hmm.
The big winners, in my opinion, were TNA and AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Right, literally, TNA finally gave us the payoff of the invasion, and the way they slow rolled it, it would. I actually say I have to give them. I have to give them applause because honestly, we were a little frustrated about how long it took. Because if you think about it, it took them almost what a year to 18 months for this invasion angle to really start to happen.
Yeah.
And even though we had our issues with it, and I still do have some issues with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Kalani. I still don't think she should be I still don't think she should be a champion for TNA. But I do like the storyline that they can't trust her, which I do appreciate. So they Kayla.
Kayla!
So sorry, y'all. But what I think is that the exposure for TNA and the fact that AEW had a good product Wednesday, and they're coming off 2 good weeks, well, probably actually a little longer than 2 good weeks, good weeks of product. I think, and WWE, honestly, I'll be honest, their last Raw and SmackDowns have not been great. Now, don't get me wrong; they have had good segments on those shows. But if you take the entirety of Raw this week and the entirety of SmackDown this week, they were, in my opinion, and y'all can argue with me if you want, C plus shows. They were
Okay.
C plus shows. But the NXT TNA invasion made TNA look really strong. Even though, it's still weird to me that they got champions on both sides for TNA. And AEW did great. I'm not even talking about the Andrade return, which is a really good point. Who was that again? I'm sorry.
Alex.
Alex, thank you. Andrade's return was a good pull, but truth be told, that's not what made the Dynamite last week or Dynamite this week great, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll get into
And
that. We're gonna get into that.
the Queen's actually absolutely right because, I have even at this point, for all of our complaints about AEW, they look like they are trying to turn the corner, and they are turning the corner well. And this is how I know they are turning the corner. I enjoy the Young Bucks. In the entire history of the Young Bucks' career, I will say they are great wrestlers, but I have never enjoyed their gimmick. Period. They've always kind of annoyed the crap out of me. The Broke Bucks gimmick might very well be the funniest thing and most entertaining thing they have done, in my opinion. And that's just a small example. And Hangman is being a great champion. I don't care what anyone says. He is being a great champion. This is a much better run than he had in his first title, and really is kind of settled in. I like this thing he's doing with Joe because that right there really will put him up, Steven.
Oh yeah, we'll get into it though. Let's save that for the next topic.
But overall, I think TNA and AEW won this week.
Okay, that's for sure. But speaking of that, let's talk about it. I mean, we just brought it up. I mean, we talk about Victory Road. We see, Ashley Elegance announced her retirement. It's still private, and I respect that. I give that a lot of people. People that are watching or listening respect the privacy of that woman. If she needed to retire, it was for health reasons, and I'm not going to question it, and I wish her nothing for the best because it's unfortunate that this happened at the moment that she won. She was just being at the rise at the top, winning the championship with the gimmick that she has. It was going somewhere, but, things happen unexpectedly. And, then, of course, we, throughout that pay-per-view, we had, the announcement that was made on that Victory Road was after with Leon, Leon Slater being the main event. That was, awesome to see, and then the announcement was made that at Bound for Glory, he's going to be facing Javon Evans for that X Division champion. Oh, the dreams have come true. And then it came true. And then
I gotta tell you, man, they're doing a really great job pushing Javon Evans.
Oh fuck yeah, dude. Oh,
And they are. I honestly, and I'll be honest about it. I didn't think Javon Evans was ready for the spotlight. I thought he was. Don't get me wrong. I thought he was a great wrestler and a great athlete. But his last outing against Sammy and the tag match he did on NXT, right, it was not a tag match, but the match he had on NXT, I'm like, yeah, this kid got the juice. Yeah, I think that kid gonna be real. I mean, I still worry about him because all the high flying stuff. I worry he gonna hurt himself a little too much, but that's just that's just old man worry. But the truth of the matter is that kid. I mean, the kid's awesome. And I will say this, and I know people argue. I think it was a good thing he didn't win the championship.
Yeah,
I think it's easier to push him without the belt on him.
no, yeah,
So
no, that's for sure. No, that's for
and,
sure.
and this the TNA No Mercy. Damn.
Oh
It
yeah.
was the good. It's a good payout. It's a good payoff right here. Like this,
So
yeah.
you know, so before we get to No Mercy, very quick for Victory Road,
Mhm.
Frank Kazarian won the international championship. Beat Steve Macklin for it. I mean, the match was great, and then just seeing Kalani beating Galen for the Knockouts championship, and he could tell. I don't like you were saying earlier, like you're saying that it was not the right call. I don't know, because looking at the battle royal it was, and looking at the women's roster of TNA, who would have fit? Honestly, I'll say it should have been Tessa on this situation, in my opinion.
I'm sorry, who?
Tessa. I hate to say it, but Tessa Blanchard. I would think that's the only other option you could have had. But then again, I see what you're trying to do in this case, because you're trying to make the storyline of NXT invading TNA and Bound for Glory. They're going to have their moments, getting their titles back. Maybe they're saving it for Tessa and Indy Hartwell. At the after the fallout, from Bound for Glory, and we could see Tessa probably taking it away from Indy when she actually wins it. I still feel like Indy Hartwell's going to win it from Kalani. I think it's going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to it, actually. But was it the right person? I feel like it was just unexpected. It was random. I don't know who else would have been fitting in this situation. So I mean, the only possible person I could have in mind is what's her name, Luna, the one who just turned heel on TNA. Maybe, but then again, it would have been too soon. So I don't know. I mean,
the person who I think it should have been was Tasha Steelz.
Oh, that's right. Tasha Steelz.
It should have been Tasha Steelz is, in my opinion, the one who should have got it. Because I was thinking about it and I was like, she's already been a champion. She's a really great face, but I think I would have preferred it was Tasha Steelz. And I would have been okay with a Tasha Steelz versus Kalani match at the showdown. Like that is something I would have liked to see. And then if because like me, they should book that like at the invasion angle, they should book that Tasha. So yeah.
Lisa Edwards would have been another one. I think I agree with that.
But yeah, but I was thinking. I'm not gonna say that. The only reason I think he should is for longevity's sake. Like from a health wise thing, at a certain point, he won't be able to do all that stuff. So yeah, I do agree with that on certain levels, but at this point in time, the gimmick's working for him. But for Javon, the other thing I need, but again, Javon, I need to see Javon do a little bit more. The one thing he needs a little bit more of a ground game.
Yeah,
like I mean, not a lot, but like maybe 10% more, so he can slow down and rest up and not blow himself out. But Javon will be fine.
Jody Threat, Stephen saying, okay. I like that. Okay. And then So, man, now let's talk about NXT No Mercy, baby. Man, people were not happy about two things in this. But let's give a shout out to Jordan Grace and fucking Blake Monroe. I think that was the match of the night. They
There was.
I
It
think
definitely was.
killed it. I was just like, oh my God, like just seeing that. And then, shout out to Josh Briggs. He did a good job with Javon, even though the opening, I think it was a great matchup for them too. But we're seeing the development of Josh, Briggs getting better in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And as a heel, I think it works for him. And he's doing a great job. The one that I did not expect was, really, what's her name? Something Reed. Just really had to be and it is a fucked up part that NXT exposed her on social media. Oh yeah, it was Reed the whole time on social media. Then they deleted it, but it was too fucking late. So they had a fucking
the sneak in. Yeah.
Yes. So they did it. It was too late. It was too fucking obvious. And then you saw it on Tuesday. She's like, "Yeah, it was me." Like, okay. So
I mean, the funny part though is who everyone suspected it was at 1st.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was Mandy Rose.
That's what everybody thought for a minute. I didn't think about that, but there's certain people that say, "Oh,
I would have thought that was great. That would have been a great move if they could have pulled that off. But truth be told, I wasn't fully. Gabby, hey, how are you? But I'll be honest, I would have thought that was a good pull, but I didn't think that was possible. But I didn't fully believe it.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, I would have liked that idea too. Baby.
That's not a bad one. Yeah,
that's not a bad one, Candace. That's for sure. That heel turn it helped a lot. It did it did a lot for Briggs for sure, Alex. I agree with you. Oh, Notorious. Notorious. What is going on, baby? That's right. Notorious. That's right. Let's see it. Josh Briggs, JBL reject versus Javon. Laney Reed. Thank you, Steven. I keep forgetting her name. Laney Reed. But yeah, I mean, the part is Stephanie had her moment with her dad, and Lola could not have her moment with her fucking family there. That's some shit.
Yeah.
Tell me that you didn't enjoy that. Were you expecting that, or were you expecting Lola to win it?
I actually thought Lola was going to win it.
Oh man,
whatever she dating Damian Priest, she's gonna be all right.
Yeah. And Rusty saying, "What's up, Shorty P and Poppy? What is good, Rusty? What is good?
What's up?"
And the unexpected one that nobody thought was attorney law. Oba Femi losing clean to Ricky Saints.
Thank goodness.
Clean. I was shocked. I was like, what? He beat this man clean with like 4 DDTs? But it was in-ring psychology was great. I like the storytelling of it. I just did not expect it to end it the way how it ended. But you know what? Good for Ricky Starks. Congratulations for him. I'm happy for him. But of course, talk about it.
I was actually happy with it because I think at this point, Obafemi's run was really, really good, but I think it ran its course.
Yeah.
Because truth be told, Obafemi was having the exact same reaction to when Braun Breaker was down there. And at a certain point, nobody could beat Braun Breaker. And his charisma was so great, they had to take the belt off of him to give him a new personality, which is when they brought in Baron Corbin. So they could do, what the hell is that? So what they call them? Not the Road Dogs.
What's it? The
something dogs. The something dogs.
What were they called? Was not the War Dogs? What the fuck were they called?
Yeah.
Shit, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but I think taking the belt off Oba and giving him a run without the belt will give him a good step up to go into the main roster. And I think this right here gives Ricky ability to show who he is and what he can do. Dirty Dogs, thank you.
Thank you, Don. Yes. What's happening, Lennox? What's good? Happy Saturday, brother.
What's up, brother? So, but the truth of the matter is, I was happy with it. I actually thought it was a good booking. I think it now gives Oba a chance to redefine himself into a new character, and I think it'd be really good for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The biggest question is, do you think he's ready to be called up, or you think he is not ready to get called up? That's the biggest question.
For his sake, I would say don't call him up.
So I would just give him a break time pretty much, and then have him, try to regain the belt. Or what would you have him do in this situation?
I would give him a run where he tries to regain the belt, and we get a little program with those two. Because the truth of the matter is, SmackDown and both Raw are so convoluted right now. If he goes up there, wolf dogs.
Well, thank you, Steven.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both cards are so convoluted. He's going to end up going in and getting the same kind of treatment Carmelo does.
That's true.
Like he's going to get the same kind. Like he's not going to have a choice because that's just where they're going to put him. He's going to have a good push for about maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a month, and then he's going to end up going. He's going to end up going for like the Southwest Speed Championship of Tuscaloosa.
In kayfabe, Vego saying, did Laney kill Jasmine? That's what they're saying. That's what she said on Tuesday. She pretty much was the one that did it.
Technically, yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know where to go with that direction. My intrigue, I'll be honest, I'm not. I just don't see. It's going to help her, I'll tell you that. At least get her to do something. But it just I don't know. I'm just not intrigued. I don't know if you feel the same, Pepsi Phil. I don't know how you feel about that.
I actually don't know what to think about it. And the fact that Jasmine Nix came out and talked about one of the reasons she left was she wasn't getting paid shit. And I know a lot of people kept complaining about it. When you're not a pro wrestler, $75,000 a year is good. Truth be told, if you're a wrestler, and I remember she had them 4 knee surgeries, and she was on the shelf, not getting paid as much as she could be, and the medical bills and the stuff was collecting. Yeah, that cuts a chunk into it. So it's not like she was just making money and being fine. So I agree with her. Like, honestly, it's a rough gig. So I applaud her for taking care of herself. Hold on for a bit.
See, Alex said, yeah. Oh, okay. I mean, what would I change, Alex? There are a lot of things that needs to be changed. It's time management. It's time management of getting, giving the stars a lot. I said this in the last episode. It's time management that they need to do. Give other stars and not being a repeat weekly, feuds that we see on television. Like, it's being too much repetitive. We got to see more different action, different storytelling. Cut promos less than 30 minutes and make that 10 minutes less of a promo that you need. You don't need 20 minutes, 30-minute promo. You don't, because that's taking away half of the show, especially for SmackDown more than Raw, because Netflix is able to do what they could do. So, I mean, that's one thing that I would change is that direction for sure, Alex. That's what I would do, is really time manage and better storytelling, include new storytellings for us to be giving it a shot. Let's see how it works. That's what I would do. I mean, there's just a lot to it that they need to do. And shout out to Lauren. What's up, baby? What's going on? Yeah, it's right there. Yep, subscribe. Let's fucking go. That's right. Steven saying, we really didn't know that their NXT wrestlers had to pay the hotel out of their pockets. Yeah, they did.
I mean, truth be told, they made less money back in the day, and it's a little bit better now, but it's still problematic. It's still very problematic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they also got. It's not just hotels; it's also travel, food, lodging as well. So it's not just, like I said. And if you think about it, how many times they travel, how many shows they do, house shows or not. Sure, they could be a little bit. I think they can be reimbursed a little bit, but that still cuts into your paycheck.
Yeah. No,
So
definitely.
I mean,
Let's see.
so
Let's see. Do you still? I they should have done it that Friday.
they were supposed to.
Yep. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but it was just.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know.
a
That was
that
another.
was.
Oh my God.
What I will also say is, don't blame Nia for that shit.
It's everybody's to blame on that. It's everyone.
Yeah,
It's everyone. It's not gonna be just one person. It's all that. Even the producer who
yeah,
was in charge of the match. It's
yeah,
all of
yeah,
it.
man.
All
Yeah,
of it.
Jay got hurt, which again, don't blame her, and it wasn't anyone's fault. It just happened.
Yeah, I know, Bagel. I don't know. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. They need something. They need a roster. I think the only if it wasn't Jade, which I wish it could have been,
Mhm.
if this is the case, fuck it, give it to Chelsea Green. Give it to Chelsea. She can run with it. She's done it with the US belt. Not that much of time, but I wish she had a longer, title reign with the US belt. But if she could take away that belt away from Tiffany, I'm all with it. I would like to see the promo that they will have. I think they will bust a great promo between each other.
Mhm.
And I think Chelsea Green is the one that should be the one dethroning Tiffany. And
I think so too.
so I mean, who else?
I mean, I agree. At this point in time, if you look at the U.S. Championship, if you look at the IC Championship in the women's division,
Mm-hmm.
the only reason, and I'll say this, the only reason people care about the IC Championship is just because Becky's aura in general. But I'll be honest with you, it's not an impressive run. Like, it's just not an impressive run in the sense that she has had better runs. Her run as the man, the official man, was better than this. Chelsea's run as, like you said, with the U.S. title, really put that belt on the map. My thing is let her get the women's championship because honestly, she's got the personality, she's got the aura, she's got the ability to raise that title. Because remember, the story is it isn't the belt that raises the champion, it's the champion that raises the belt. And don't get me wrong, Becky's good, but truth be told, she needs a great opponent, and the run she's doing with AJ could be that. But right now, I don't like the fact they're having her like they're intertwining her with Seth.
Yeah, I even that fucking situation. I don't know what the hell they're doing either. I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So
That's my point. Like no one knows what they're doing, and you're just sitting there like Seth. The Seth angle is interesting because I think about that and what Bubba Ray said recently about Seth.
Mm-hmm.
When he said, and I quote, and this is a paraphrase, he thinks Seth and Seth's gimmick looks like he's trying too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's not really connecting with the fans. He's just a spectacle that people think looks cool. But can you honestly say, like, you're connecting with it like you would say a Macho Man or a Becky or Tony?
Okay. Shout out to JT, of course, from Marks from the Wife. What's up? What's up, my boy?
Yo.
My brother. He's like, Becky, Aura been slowly deeming over the last 2 years. There are 20 other women in that roster who can be in that same spot. They only have her with Seth to give her more heat. I agree with that. I could agree with that. And I'm with you on that, JT. When it comes to especially the Intercontinental belt, it's now not relevant. It's lackluster. That belt shouldn't be meant for other women to get their moments. And it's just, we're seeing the beginning of Lyra and Bailey, and then Lyra took it, and then, now it's and then we had Lyra Becky, and it's just been fucking dying out. And there's nothing to it. It goes with the U.S. belt. Unfortunately, I love that Julia won it, but they haven't given her no heat so far. Only with Michin and who was the second person that she had? Well, Selena Vega. That was it. And other than that, they haven't done shit. So it's like they're not making those titles relevancy. So it's an unfortunate. Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's for sure, Alex. Seth and Punk needs to have a blow-off match and end it. I agree, Bagel. I think we might got to see that at Mania, possibly so. I think that's where they're heading to, but I hope they get ended by this year. Hopefully by,
SummerSlam.
Survivor Series.
Okay.
They should end it there. They're running into the same problem they had with the women's. Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that. So, but the one to talk, so we can move on to the next topic, but you need to talk about Ricky Saints, people that are hating, and, talk about that and how you felt about him winning the belt,
Don't say you want new championships and get mad when they actually give you what you want. Don't say you want new talent and then get mad when they give you what you want. Don't say you get tired of the same old, and when they change it up, get mad when they give you what you want because it's not what you want.
That's right. So, I mean, happy for Ricky. I do want to see him and Oba one more time. If he beats Oba clean again for the second time, then I think it's the moment for him to get the call up.
Yeah.
Let's see. They need surprises, wins. These mid-card titles don't need long stories. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It doesn't need long stories, but it needs challenges. Like to be at least relevancy, at least a little bit of it. It doesn't have to like a roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Honestly, I blame the Bloodline storyline.
And that's what they're doing right now with the Vision. What do you think we're seeing? Main event. For God's sakes, we just saw the main event yesterday on SmackDown. The Vision being the main event. I'm not hating on them because of kudos to Bronson Reed. He's getting somewhere now. So as Braun Breaker. So I'm not hating the fact that but does it have to be consistent? No, it doesn't have to be because what you just said is repeating the same thing with the Bloodline. You're making a Bloodline 2.0, and you don't want that. You want to make that factions be, of course, to that point, but don't make it to the point that it's going to be boring as shit when you're putting them every Monday and fucking and Fridays. Why did it have to be the main? They don't have to be the main attraction. You got to give all the people chances. That's so that's what I feel. Did you hear that Kenny Omega was crying about Gail Kim? I haven't read into it, Alex. I have no idea what happened there. So I mean,
he actually wasn't crying.
What happened?
Gail Kim has a hot take that honestly I disagree with 100%. So Riho dresses like an anime girl.
Yes.
Gail Kim thought she was dressing like a schoolgirl, and according to the match that she saw, which was the one match she saw with Riho against Nyla Rose, she was upset because the cameraman kept having panning shots across her butt, and that is a real thing. However, her complaint was it looks like they're filming a little girl and they're doing those kind of like little explicit shots, and she said it made her uncomfortable to watch and she found the match unbelievable.
That's what
no one knows. Yeah, everyone forgets that Riho was trained by Kenny.
Yeah, of course.
And Kenny is real protective of his people. That pissed him the fuck off.
So that's what it was. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Although he did take a shot at her saying, "Oh, look, another old timer trying to get a gift bag from WWE."
Christopher saying, I think AEW is going to do better with the women's tag team championships than WWE is doing WWE women's tag team champion. We'll see, Christopher. So they announced the tournament, who's the participants, and we're going to have to wait and see from there. Be perfect.
That is what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping is going to happen.
Yeah. And I'm with Steven here too, because I was expecting that yesterday, but then we got Aleister Black, which I wasn't mad about that. But I was expecting that too, Steven.
That was a great Aleister Black Sami Zayn match.
Oh yeah, it was a banger. Bagel saying, so hearing what you said about Becky, do you not like main eventers holding mid-card titles?
I'm gonna say it. No, I don't.
I don't hate it either. I just make it relevant though. Give it a challenge. Look what Sammy's doing. Exactly what Sammy's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy's a main eventer. Let's be real. I know people are saying, "No, he's a mid-carder." No, he's a main eventer. It's just he's not given the shot.
But here's the thing. But here's the thing, though. All Sammy's doing is continuing what John Cena did.
Exactly, which is
so
fine.
And that's fine for sure. But the problem is that the women's titles don't have that legacy behind it to push, and they haven't come up with a new idea for it.
Because why? Because they always input 30 fucking minute promos out of their fucking killing.
No. I don't think that's it. I think it's because of the fact that, and this might go partially to what you're saying, like they do focus on the entertainment part of it, but the problem is the entertainment part they have doesn't go towards their storytelling. Even though they have those 30-minute promos, those 30-minute promos don't mean shit if you think about it. They don't go anywhere, and if you look at the night, one promo they do in the beginning of the show leads to a main event, maybe 2 or 3 of them. But truth be told, they'll do a promo and then nothing happens after that. Like you have to wait the following week or the week or 2 weeks after. So it is time blocking, like you said, but at the same time, it's like you need to have a mini payout that same night, which is the one thing I will say they used to do, like, McNugget used to do in the back. He would have some kind of crazy promo in the beginning, in the first hour, maybe hour and 45 at 15 minutes. And the last hour and 15 minutes were just the all matches that was a product of those promos. Like you wouldn't be mad about the promos if you got a payoff that same night. Like that's the problem. Like I don't mind the promos being 30 minutes. I just don't. They just feel pointless.
That's the point. That's a problem. There's pointness of it to extend it. Might as well cut it in half. Make it 10 minutes of those segments, those promos.
But here's the problem. If it's 10 minutes and doesn't do anything, it's the same problem.
But it's gonna. But the thing is, Pepsi Phil, that if they make it repetitively weekly, they could just save it for the following week and get to the point.
Well, no, but my point is,
but I get your point though.
But it's like the problem is it was like because at that point it becomes like promo, promo A, promo B, promo C, and then the next segment is like promo A, nothing. Promo B, nothing. Promo C was a bloodline storyline, and that's the main event. And at a certain good for him, I suppose. But the truth of the matter is, man. But truth be told, don't call it a serial storytelling, and you only got one story, and you just got a bunch of people talking for no reason. Because in the end, it's still a wrestling show, and it needs to have some kind of payout. And like you said, the main event of just having to be the Bloodline main event or Vision 2.0, whatever you want to call it,
Bloodline
2.0 is fucking boring.
That's what I'm telling you. It's fucking boring. At least we got something last week. Then the women being the main event, which was great. But of course, that's shit happens. It is what it is. But
that felt random. That didn't feel like something they had planned promo. That was just random. Yeah. There was no lead up. There was no promo. There wasn't even a 5-minute segment that led up to it that quote unquote promoted that match. In my opinion. So it's less time blocking and better programming where you go, all right, if you're going to be here for 2 hours, the first 45 minutes is going to be us talking, and the rest of it is us beating the crap out of each other based on those promos. Like not short promos, but based on the promos you just saw, because that's the payoff you get for being patient to sit through them promos.
Let's see. Mark's saying people only mad at Ricky as a champion because we never got the payoff for Oba versus Trick. Plus, they wanted him to go out like Asuka and relinquish the title. And let's see. He also is an EVP that shouldn't be engaged if in a Twitter beef. But I digress. Oh, that was a Kenny Omega one. But I agree with him on the Ricky. You know, I mean, they wanted Oba to relinquish the title. No, I think it was a great move that Ricky wanted, and you needed someone to beat Oba clean. There was nobody else in that roster right now, currently, besides Javon Evans. But Ricky's the other option. I wouldn't mind Ricky. You know, so you know, if we could go heel, maybe Ethan Page. You know, if they could tell the story right, you know, it's just at the top.
If it was up to me, I'd have him relinquish the title and then have Santana win it.
Oh, that's right. That would have been great too. You're right.
Have him relinquish the title, do a tournament, make him like a wild card character, and have Santana win it for a while.
Not even, or it should have been Santana challenging Oba to beat him, and Santana beat him clean. Having someone not from the roster to take that belt and actually beat him clean.
And then have Javon take it back? Yeah, not Javon. I'll have Ricky take it back. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that could have worked too. That would have worked different. Oba is not quite done. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Christopher. He's not done yet. He needs another feud, a rematch, and then we can see from there. Let's see, Alex. Hey, sometimes forget how long Sammy has been doing this. Exactly, Alex. Authority says it's the best Seth. I mean, it is. I'm not, you know, the Authority one. Yeah, I think that was the one that kind of started it all. Bagel says needs to take a break. I have a problem with a 30-minute promo if it's a 2-hour show. That's where yes, SmackDown is a problem with that. I know this is a hot take potentially, but Seth is better as a challenger than as a champion.
I can see that.
I can see that too. I agree to see. Does Leon Slater need to change anything about his wrestling style?
I don't think so.
No, I think I like his style. I think he's like a reminder to me of I know I'm going too far of comparing him, but it's like the younger version of Will Ospreay when he first started of Rep Pro and then going to New Japan and Chaos. And it reminds me a little bit of the younger version of Dragon Lee. So he's like
right back.
Yeah. Yes, that's what it reminds me of. That is for sure. Now to the next topic, folks, that I want to talk about, that I want to get your guys' thought about, is the secret call-ups. Is this a good move or a bad move? As we all know as of late, a lot of these call-ups, you know, how we will get normally from NXT, you know, to the main roster, to Raw or SmackDown. As of late, we're not seeing that. We're seeing them as it's been unexpected appearances, and then get them to, all right, now they're full-time and just being signed, you know, unexpectedly. So based on, you know, what, you know, Mr. Uncle Seltzer, Sean Ross have, and keep in mind, we're just giving our opinions, folks, not being them, because we're not them. Fuck them. That's just me. And, you know, based on basically stating that they're no longer doing, you know, the anticipated call-ups, like, hey, like in a draft, or, you know, or even doing possibly a draft, just possibly even just moving stars and without making an announcement of it, or doing a special draft moment. But mainly for the NXT stars as of late, what they've been doing is calling them up secretly, having a private conversation with them, telling them, hey, we're going to call you up. This is what's going to happen. This is your plan. So instead of no longer there's going to be a televised of the plans of moving the on a draft, or it's now going to be unexpected. And then we're going to see them unexpectedly on Raw or SmackDown. So that's what is basically occurring as of late, because one, it involves their salary, of course, their renewal over the contract, because they will have to go ahead and restructure it of giving them the extra paces that are going to the main roster, which is why they decided not to make it a televised moment for them to get, oh my God, you're going to Raw, you're going to SmackDown on the draft, you're being called up. So now they're doing it secretly. Is that a good move or a bad move for how to do it? So I want to get you guys in the chat, and you know, you guys let me know what you guys thought about that. So yes, now we cooking. Oh yeah, we cooking, baby. We cooking, JT. That's for sure. Only 3 people have beaten Oba in a singles match before. Yeah, that's true. That is very true. And I forgot who was it who beat him, you know, clean. I like sprinkling them around the year, because doing too many at the same time leads people getting lost in the shuffle, letting them make plans before they call up. Agreed, Bagel. And that's the one thing that we kind of expected when it was, you know, a lot of the potential was on Carmelo Hayes to be the #1 draft pick and we were going to see a potential on him going to SmackDown, going to have these feuds and have these stories. And now he's like kind of lost, you could say, in a way, but we're seeing now more televised of him having, the confusion of what this is trying to do. So unless they make him turn face and have him face Miz, I don't know what they're doing with that. And the other one is Fraxium. Okay, you called him up. The anticipation was there. So, but what have they done by far? That is another problem. The tag team division that on SmackDown needs more of attention to it, and we haven't seen as much of it. Is the same repeat stories, but like we saw what tag match what happened yesterday. I enjoyed it. The Garças did great. I'm glad they got some television time. I want to see them more often. Why not have them versus Fraxium? Why not have if Javon's going to be more consistent in the main roster, which we could see maybe he'd be called up very soon. That could be the case. Him and Phoenix versus Fraxium. We want to see a lot of that, or Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium have a feud of the best out of them. Something we haven't seen that since Fraxium got called up to the main roster. And when that happens to any talent, it deteriorates, for me, in my opinion, it deteriorates their fame and it deteriorates the like that they get from us fans. Because they slowly becoming disappearing. Because they're going to be more attentive to whatever current storyline they're given to, and that is a problem there. So, but then he got stuck with the Miz. Exactly, Alex. That's a problem. Yes, Tony D beat up me twice. There you go. I forgot. Thank you. You're right. He beat him for the North American Championship. Thank you for reminding me, Christopher. And one out of the three men to pin up is Dante Chen. Oh, that's right. Bad move. We need the shock factor back. It feels like I'm watching WWE 2K25 My Rise Earl. It just keeping it buck. I'm with you, JT, and I think that's the problem there. No Fraxium, or Santos Escobar too. We've been seeing promos of him doing as of late, thinking of what's going to be his career, what is going to be, what's going to happen. So we're seeing that as of late too. And yeah, we are having the sort of Machine Guns been, but where they have been is the problem. We just saw them against Fraxium on Saturday main event that they record and it's on Peacock, and that's really like there's got to be something else to it. It irritates the hell out of me that bookie. I'm with you too, Stephen, that they have not booked Santos at all. Let's not forget the rumor that they will be signing Joe Hendry, and big rumor Jericho might come back to WWE. I mean, we're going to have to wait to see what the Joe Hendry is expected that Joe Hendry will be when his contract's up by the end of the year. That eventually, that looks like it's his potential destination is the NXT. And I think it's better that way. And, should Hendry get another run in TNA? And I mean, I would have minded, but then again, it's just what else can you do? At this point, the momentum is, I'm not saying it's gone, it's there for him, but to win the title right now, the eye focuses on Mike Santana, which I'm glad they're focusing on him, and I hope they give him that belt. So we're gonna have to wait and see. That is for sure. What's up, Brandon? See, let's not forget that was you, Brandon. My apologies. We're gonna need to wait and see. Yeah, Jericho was asked a question during a filming here in Los Angeles, and he's just, his comment was just like, it's good that we have other promotions in wrestling. We have all of these. So, we have to wait to see. But like I mentioned, folks, I mean, you guys tell me like how JT said, it is a bad decision for them to do it secretly, call up that way from the NXT to the main roster. Is because then again, it's a 50-50 because it's more like how, you guys mentioned earlier in the chat about it gives, in a way, it benefits them because it gives them at least the opportunity to have the options in writing. Okay, if we could give it with this story or this story or this story to kick off, to the main roster. But the biggest fear from there is what's the aftermath of that, the fallout out of it. So you give them one feud, what's going to happen next? Like how you're having, Carmelo Hayes, that's what we don't want for the NXT talent. and that's where it's fearful, and we don't want that. So definitely. And JT saying, what happened to the game I love when we had a shock factors like Shinsuke, Bobby Roode? Yeah, we don't have that no more, unfortunately, and it sucks. I'm with you on that, JT. It's like the momentum is gone. Just to think the promos of Joe Hendry and Jericho would be interesting and very entertaining. Absolutely, Brendan. I think it would be very. Jericho should have won the 2012 Royal Rumble. He should have won that Royal Rumble. But I mean, that's only the problem there, folks. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it. Let's see. Say his name and he appears. You just make the list. Oh, that's right. That is right. And that's these call-ups. It seems like we're heading that the direction. I mean, Oba could be a call-up soon. Could it be by the end of this year? Maybe. Could it be by the Royal Rumble? Maybe. I still feel he needs one last time to, obviously end his feud with Ricky Saints and have him lose clean to Ricky Saints and, put over Ricky Saints as a world champion and say, you know what, the better man won, beat me clean for it. Congratulations. Now I'm off to the next stop to get what I need to do. And I think that's probably the best exit for Obafemi here in this case, for him to exit out away from NXT, is putting over Ricky Saints one more time and, exit the door NXT and either go to Raw and SmackDown. Who knows? It might be a potential that we get, Obafemi being the one open challenge for John Cena, for at Saturday Night Main Event. We might get that. We all kind of wish it was Kevin Owens to make up what happened at, Money in the Bank when it was, Kevin Owens as the NXT World Champion versus the U.S. Champion, John Cena, and took the challenge and stomped on the U.S. title and held NXT, but Kevin Owens is obviously out with an injury, so it's not going to happen. There's other options. There's a lot of options that they're saying. Drew McIntyre, they're saying. Gunther, they're saying. Maybe Joe Hendry, we're saying. But there's a lot of pointing to Joe Hendry that he could be the last match for John Cena because that's Joe Hendry's dream opponent. And maybe John Cena can make his dream come true. And I would like to see that if it is Joe Hendry. I'll tell you that. And Brandon's saying, I see Oba in the Rumble this year. Me too. I see that happening too. I think we'll may see him. I love his regular team, but I miss Joe Hendry parody. Me too. Gunther would be a great, awesome last opponent for John Cena. I mean, yeah, Gunther would be too. But if you can do it with Joe Hendry, I wouldn't mind that. I think Joe Hendry would have been the one. So definitely, it should be Joe Hendry. That is for sure. See, Stephen saying that Oba, Tony, D, Lola, Jordan called up. That's why I'm with you on this Jordan one, Stephen, because that's where if you're not giving her the belt, you made her go through these situations. You never gave her the belt. Why is that? And why is it because you didn't want to repeat what you did with Judy and Stephanie? Is that the case? What is the agenda there that I don't understand either of why not putting over? Putting over Jordan Grace to win the NXT Women's Championship. I don't get that either. With the state of the main roster and if its call-ups can be a good thing right now, but they can also be bad if you have nothing creative-wise for them. Exactly, Redeemer. That's why I'm saying that this is the way how they're doing these call-ups. Is it good or bad? Like, JT mentioned, it's not the same. But then again, it's how if they can hold back and do the secret call-up by having a story develop with them to make their debut in the main roster. But my concern is the fallout after that. What's going to be next after that? Is it going to be the same repeating the same plot? That's where a lot of things of that, it kind of like questions, is it good or bad, how they're doing these call-ups and what would you have them on the platform. So, yeah, it all exactly. See, it all depends on the booking. That's what it is. K Jordan dethroned JC. War Hero, man, shout out to you. I see that happening. I feel that on Tuesday we're gonna get TNA Women's winning, and I think Kalani's the one who's gonna take it, for them. And I think it's the best decision. I agree with you on that. I think so. Brandon saying when Jordan Maria is the first women's champion, I remember the rumor China was supposed to be. Yeah, That's the only thing I remember too. What if not when? Exactly. Breaker versus Punk at Mania. They're aiming. They're trying to do Braun Breaker versus Roman at Mania, or Brock Lesnar, which I don't want Brock Lesnar and Braun Breaker. Just give us. I wouldn't mind seeing Roman and Braun Breaker. At least the Battle of the Spears. Why not? That's things that I would like to see. So that's something definitely, very invested to see, and how that's going to turn out to be. But these call-ups, we just got to wait and see how it's going to turn out to be. I know. I don't want it to be Brock either. I don't. I wonder if TNA and the NXT story will end that showdown and where it continues till Halloween Havoc. That's a good question, Big O, and I'm with you at that point. I don't know how this is going to end, but I know for a fact when next Sunday TNA Bound for Glory, it should end with TNA gaining their titles back. And I don't know how they're going to even it out here for Showdown. I think it should be even. I still say maybe Mustafa Ali takes that North American Championship and run with it. Have Dr. Wagner Jr., how Redeemer said on Tuesday, cost Ethan Page then going after the Latin American Championship for AAA. And have Mustafa run the North American Championship with his faction. I think it'll be a great decision to do. I would love to see that. That would be something that will be amazed to see. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Let's see. At this point, wrestling is family. It is a family business. I'll tell you that. It's not really just more. I mean, could we say that for the company itself? I don't know. It's more of a business, not more family in a way. Let's see. Lesnar needs to face Gunther. Okay, so we should. I see Braun Breaker versus Cecil. Maybe so. We could possibly see that. Trick called up. That's what they're saying too. Doctor should be a double champion. Yes, I agree. I don't know about Trick being called up. Maybe so. But unless they're my worried about that is if he comes, they call him up for SmackDown. Let's say they've reunited him with Melo. It's not gonna work out because it's just not gonna work. Is not maybe the beginning it will, but from there, what are you gonna do? Now you're gonna have Trick as a tag team, not really more of a singles competitor. That's the concern there. And let's see.
So can I give you a different call up on the secret call ups? And this is my call. I think it's a business move. If you do it as a secret, I think if you do it as a secret call up, it's a lot easier to go negotiate down on their paychecks when they get to the main roster. Because think about it, there's more excitement when you know who's about to be called up and say the draft. Like think about it. You look at their NXT runs, like Shinsuke and all the rest of them, like Finn Balor especially. They had great aura and great power coming up. So theoretically, if you could carry that over, you can negotiate that going, this is what I'm doing on NXT roster. And you can see from the draft how much people are excited about me. It gives the talent more negotiating power on how much they want to make. But if they do it as a secret call up, they can take the metrics out of how well they're doing, t-shirt sales, all that stuff. They could take that out and ignore it. And they did that to Baron Corbin. Basically go, this is what we're going to give you because basically you're young talent. This is our base starting rate for young talent. Yeah, so that's my opinion. Like, I don't think this is like we want to give you more entertainment. I think it's a money deal.
Yeah, I mean that's why I feel like it's why secretive because of that, because they're going to raise their their salary and depending where they're going to. But I that's respectful, of course. Of course, that got to be discussed secretly about that, and that's given. But as in like announcing like a draft, like oh my god, yeah, you're gonna go here, and oh my god, yay, like we're excited. So now it's just like secret call-ups, like hey, like what secret was the last one? Was it Fraxium, right? They were the last one.
Think about it this way. At that point, Fraxium was the hottest ticket on the card for a tag team.
Agreed.
When they showed up, they got the hugest pop. I mean, I'll be honest, they got a bigger pop than the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and they had a few weeks of a good run and then shut it down. Because when it comes down to it, this goes what you said. They don't have a good planning thing, but in truth, it's like, well, we gonna do it this way. And from a financial standpoint, they can just say, well, I mean, you're a new man on the roster. We're gonna give you a base salary. So that's what I find.
So in the long run for you, how? Okay.
No, you go ahead.
No, so in the long run, do you feel this will be so the way how they're doing this is a good way to doing it secretly, or do you still feel like it's kind of like a bad or 50-50? You feel like overall, like
I think it's on the one hand, I think it's 50-50. I think 50% is good for negotiating powers. Because if they do it outside of eyes of the WWE universe, it gives them a little bit more leverage. But it does kind of give TKO more leverage over the talent that's coming in, because these are young kids. No matter what it is, these are young guys, and they're not seasoned veterans. So yeah, like TKO, in my opinion, TKO is going to use to push them around in the negotiating table, and you keep it secret so no one knows how much bullshit it is. Because like I said, Jasmine Nix is a perfect example.
Yeah, I agree with that. And JT saying, I love Kalani, but having her win a TNA championship when you had Ying Lee right there baffles me. But I get it. It's business, but it's best. But is it the best for the storyline?
No,
it's not. Honestly, it's not the best storyline. It's just that I don't know what other options. They had options. Like I agree with you about Lee, or talent in their roster, but I think based on what the whole situation of TNA getting upset that the NXT is taken over their titles, in having Kalani to be included, that's probably the reason why, because of that story. So they want to build the momentum for Bound for Glory to have it's because Bound for Glory is a WrestleMania for them. We know that already. So it's like that's going to be their mania moment for them for TNA is to gain their titles back away from the other product from NXT. So I believe that's the reason why they went with that direction. Is for that reason to hype up and anticipate more of the pay-per-view to be bought, to be watched. But is it a hype with Indy and Kalani for the IWC's community? I wish I could answer that. I feel like some people are yes, some are no, because it's lackluster. There's nothing to hype about it. I mean, I don't know. You agree with that, Pepsi Phil, or I don't know how you feel about that.
Honestly, I'm just confused.
That's what it is. It's the word of the day. It's confused. We are confused. Oh, no, I'm with you on that. And let's see, Brian Brennan say, I'm surprised that Nick Nemes hasn't been used in NXT and TNA storyline. I wonder why too. Bagel saying, I have to say, Trick Willie is the most improved wrestler from the debut till now. I agree with that, Bagel, 100%. JC Jane could have get called up since she's been in NXT for the last 6 years, but they didn't have to anything in the last years. Within the last 2 to 6 of the years until now, it's now they're doing something. So, which is great for them. I'm not hating on it. I thought Javon was being built to take down Oba, but I guess Ricky will have to do. You know what? We all thought the same thing, War Hero, but it makes sense in a way. Unless we get now Ricky the one put over Javon. Maybe that could be the case. I don't know. I had the impression as well. But it looks like they're heading to another direction unless they're ready to call up Javon, which I feel like is too soon. I feel like he needs to have some kind of run in NXT still. So, I mean, we're just going to have to wait to see how the year starts. Let's see. The TNA roster is really just the 2017-2021 NXT roster. I can agree with that. 100%. War Hero saying SmackDown has better tag teams than Raw. Yes, I would say get rid of the fucking broad brand, those tag team brands, and make it as one for both brands. So they can have enough tag teams to go to both brands. That's what they should do. So, man, horrible. I think the best thing for a tag team wrestling is to keep putting the DIY in the ladder matches. Possibly so. I'm thinking more that Orton will face Cody at Mania. That could be the case because his defense has not been the greatest. It is clear that Tessa is who they want the title on, but fans. So that's why Kalani is the champion. Maybe so, for sure. Bear Monkey, what's up? The whole invasion thing has been too rushed. I think how Bagel said it. Yeah, I don't know. You want to respond to that?
Rush. It took them 18 months for it to. It took them 18 months for that. Well, not a month, but it took them almost a year to have it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it is. I think they timed it right. TNA has a good push, and truth be told, I think they did it just right. I mean, there is some flubs in the build up, but I think truth be told, I think it was handled as best they could. And then for me, I looked at it and went, I think they wanted to book it so it doesn't look like the ECW invasion. Like, I think that's why they were trying to be real careful, because I think they got burnt with ECW and they wanted to be more deliberate. Mm-hmm. And for me, I didn't feel like it was rushed, because I remember when Redeemer was talking about it. God bless him. I love Redeemer. Redeemer was like, "Why is this invasion taking so long?"
Yep, that's what I think all of it was in the beginning when they first announced it. I think we all were kind of that way, but I think it makes sense, and the better way to do it. That's why I feel like the way how they're doing it for Bound for Glory to hype it up, and then if they continue with it, like how they said, said earlier in the chat about maybe they continue at Halloween Havoc. I can see that too. For Havoc, they can continue it. I was really more hoping they could do a War Games because they don't got a pay-per-view for November for them. If they could do something before Survivor Series, a pay-per-view for them that they could do, like really bust the War Games for NXT and TNA, I think that'd be the best option they could do it.
I agree.
But it's depending on their booking. I don't know how they're going to do that. Let's see, is John wrestling now? Let's see. Maybe Javon can win the X Division. That we might see that at Bound for Glory. That'll be an interesting War Hero.
Yeah.
Let the invasion begin. I know. Yes. The knockouts.
Remember, it's not invasion. It's showdown.
Yes. I just did Trump a fucking favor for that. Redeemer saying the knockouts title is in a weird place right now. It almost feels like everything after Ash beat JC has been a miss. It would have been the best to keep it on JC and have her to drop it at Bound for Glory. Yeah. I could agree with that. Then that would have been more of a hype. Then we could say, yeah. So, I mean, that's what's going on right now with the call-ups, folks. Those are it. But, man. Then we got the last topic of the night. So far, you heard Pepsi Phil earlier mentioning of what we're getting. This is what we're getting by far, and heading into Perth. Crown Jewel's Perth. Look by looking at the story develop, and it looks like it's like we could say is the number one story right now. It's really the women on this situation, which is Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors, which we're going to see at Perth. It looks like that's more of main of attraction. And don't get me wrong, the Cody and Rollins promos were great, has been great. But is it hype? Nah, kind of. The Tiffany and Stephanie, there was no hype towards that. Obviously, the following weekend coming up, they're going to be teaming up against Kiana James and Julia, which will be interesting to see. And I think this is where I hope that Julia and Stephanie take these girls to school. Let us teach you how to do some strong style and lucha libre style.
So hopefully they could do that for them. One of the matches they announced for Purse, John Cena and AJ Styles. That's something that I wish there were hype to it, but there isn't because, and again, lackluster of what I call booking, meaning to hype up the story, is going back and bringing back old clips of the encounter. We heard AJ said it on Raw, like, you guys, because of you guys, I got a match at Crown Jewel. You don't want to do what I do best, beat up John Cena. They can bring clips of that, their first encounter, the second encounter, the third. Like, they face each other, 4 different times, Pepsiville? Or was it only 5? You remember. 4, right?
I think it's 4. Yeah, I think 4.
Because I think 3 was the pay-per-view and 1 was a Raw, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. So they could hype it up and do promo packages of it heading into it. And they have not done that. So that's why I feel like the lackluster of that story. And there hasn't been much. Like, Purse to me is not a main attraction pay-per-view. It's just more of a roadblock type of style pay-per-view that doesn't got the hype for it, even though it's internationally. There's not much going there. We're seeing what the Vision is doing, and it's 2.0. We talked about that earlier. And then we're seeing really now the triple Spider-Mans. You got Rayo and Bravo and which is Tyler Bate and fucking Pete Dunne, folks. By the way, we already know that's them. And Ludwig Kaiser and Gran Americano. What is it they're doing in those stories?
So you actually touched on something I'd always thought about. With them being an international company now and doing shows internationally, and this is what I like to hear from the fans. Do you feel, or at least I should say this, I feel that they are booking the same talent over and over and over again in their main events? Because internationally, they are far more well known and they are scared to introduce younger mid-card talent or younger mid-card storylines. Like, this is what you just remind me of something I was thinking, because the way you were talking about it, about Perth and the rest of the places, and like best matches for the ending, I understand the idea of a main event, but I feel like they're not building young talent. Not like they do it locally. Obviously, they do locally well, but they don't do it internationally. And that is obviously the audience they are shooting for. That's the reason why we did not get Stephanie Vaquer in Paris. That's why we got like John Cena and, like you said, this roadblock match at Perth. Like these are like quote unquote the same folks in main event status because they are internationally recognized. And Becky will sell more international tickets versus, say, Lyra or perhaps Bailey. So I'm just wondering what the fans think of that.
That's a good question. It's just like, I don't, and then with the whole Bailey thing, I don't like. She's the faces of Bailey. What the fuck? She's really good, jolly old mad. People like rumor your window that she's not happy with her booking. I'm like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I can't. I don't know what to tell you what they're doing with Bailey. Is it a great story that does not intrigue me as much. I wish if they could add that match with Lyra at Purse to end it all and move on. I'd rather to have that happening. I just don't see other options here. I just don't see any other options here. And it's just lackluster there. And there's not much there to build this. The only thing they built up for Purse is really honestly is, for me, it's those women tag team between Rio and Io and Rhea versus the Kabuki Warriors. I feel like that's
but you know why, don't you?
Go ahead.
that is a backdoor to the Asian market.
Because it's international and because they're international stars.
And Australia, pretty much is a track.
For
Like
Rhea
Asian
Ripley.
wrestlers, yeah. Well, Asian. Well, I was thinking more along the lines of, in regards to the Asian track to get to WWE and like America in general, it will on a case. It usually goes through. It usually goes through Australia at some point or another. And yeah, I understand putting Bailey in that situation. Not Bailey. I'm sorry. Rhea there because obviously Rhea. But think about it, like that storyline. If you think about it and go back far enough, that might be the most complete storyline they've had in years. Like the Rhea Oscar one, that is a storyline that honestly, that's the newest storyline they have ever done. That wasn't Judgment Day, that they actually put work in, like you said, put work in to build it up. And if you think about it, among the women's division and the men's division, it's the best story out right now.
It is actually, and that's what I'm saying. That's the number one story right now. We could say that has us hype at the moment, and it makes sense what you're saying. Like especially with heading to Perth, they did it right to make that the main attraction.
Yeah,
which is the right move. But I'm just saying, like the card itself is just lackluster of it.
Well, that's one thing. That's how you know they didn't build up anything, because they focused on that tag match. But like you said, the rest of them lackluster.
Yeah, because there's only 4 matches. That's all they have announced. They haven't announced anything else unless we find something on Raw. Because which is what is it they could do on Raw or SmackDown? They could really do well. SmackDown. What they could have done is added the Damian fucking Alistair towards this purse, since they're gonna be doing it. Obviously next Friday, their last man standing. They should have added it first, but they didn't. It's just lackluster.
Isn't this Damian Priest's third last man standing match?
Yeah,
like in the year.
It's about right.
Okay.
Let's see. Raquel Rodriguez is training on Liv. I see that happening too. That's for sure. I see that happening. Go shout out to our boy El Papa right here, El Papi Henry from Choke Wrestling Report. You should check out his show that he had live earlier today. It was amazing. Bailey should beat Becky Lynch. Yeah, unless they can add that, Henry, to the card on Raw, if she could be the one making the stop of the bullying from, because we are going to have Becky versus Maxine Dupree on Raw. Let's say if Bailey decides to get involved in that one, becoming the savior of the bullying, and then challenging Becky for that belt, and then maybe win it, or and then from there she could turn heel from there, and then Lyra and Bailey. I mean, who knows? There could be a lot of things that they could do on that one. WWE has been, it's that's what it is right now. And I said this before, Henry, and I forgot to mention to you earlier in the chat. The problem is right now they're focusing much on their establishment marketing right now, because like I said, right, and I said this before, and Phil could vouch for it. It's just they're too much focus on having an establishment, because we know that we're heading in that era that cable networking is going to be obsolete. And now, where the feature television is going to be on platforms like ESPN, like Hulu, Disney, HBO Max, Paramount. That's what we're heading to. Cable networking is itself deteriorating, and it's slowly. Sports already made their establishment where they're going to Amazon or to anywhere else. It's going to come to that. NBA is already that direction. And MLB is already that direction too. So it's getting to that point that cable networking is going to be obsolete. And just now you have to subscribe to these platforms on an application that you're going to need to have on television. We're heading to that direction. And that's where I feel like TKO is not really focusing on giving us storytelling booking, and really more. They're just like, hey, just book this, whatever. I don't care. We're more focused on the money. They're more focused on the money than us. And yet, we're the ones paying those ticket prices. But at the same time, it's a short term, but a long term, this would kill the future for them, for the fans that don't want to be there. So that's one thing that, because of those prices. Let's see who will be the Bagel saying who will be the heel of the feud between Finn and Dom. I would say Finn in this situation.
I think it's gonna be Dom.
You think it's? Oh yeah, okay. I can see that. Okay. Let's see. Henry saying they down in the SmackDown on viewership 1.2. Yeah, because there's lackluster. There ain't shit. It's the same with Raw, which remember you said earlier on your show, Henry, that they're how you think they're getting the numbers now is based on subscriptions and based on viewership when they tune into it. So this is the way how they do it. It sucks. Let's see. Dom is the trader for JD. Yes, I think Dom is going to be the one. I mean, who knows? It all depends on how they're going to do it. It all depends. So we're going to have to wait and see how they ended up, doing all of this. But there's WWE right now. It has been a lackluster when it comes to, any booking at the moment. I hope they could just get this over with and then start focusing now on Survivor Series, because they're doing it at a Petco Stadium in San Diego. They're doing it at a baseball stadium. So now this is where they need to focus on building the story for it, building the right stories, which we don't know what. Most likely, we're gonna get a Seth and Punk War Games, Team Rollins versus Team Punk. We need to get a women's one. Hopefully, we get a Team AJ Lee versus Team Becky. This is where we can see Bayley being the heel side and turning heel and joining Becky on her team. So maybe we can see that. There needs to be a lot more building on the Lucha Bros. We're by far, they're not been since they've been brought up. They were hyped up. They're not getting much. Just same New Day storyline with Penta beating up everybody individually with the the Mexican Destroyer, and that that whole gimmick. Rey Fenix. Andrade is gone. What else are you going to do? And there you go. He's just with Jovan Evans, which was a great match. I think it was amazing between those four. Shout out again to Los Garças. They did a great thing. And so that's just WWE side. With the what we already touched pretty much on NXT and TNA, but with AEW side, I could say that I said this early. Like, even though they're competing with Title Tuesday against NXT Showdown, Tony Khan doesn't give a shit about it. He knows that the ratings are not going to be under his favor. He knows he's going to lose those ratings. That's why NXT is so desperate of doing it to beat them. And we beat it. Tony Khan is more concerned of booking his upcoming pay-per-view Wrestle Dream, and he's already plotting the stories what happened on Dynamite 6th year anniversary. He plotted already with Hangman and Samoa Joe. That's a match I do want to see, because remember, Hangman never beaten Joe clean. So this was something that we could see for sure, that they could develop the stories. So they already kind of put that flat right there. But the way how it was told, Pepsi Phil, I don't know if you agree with me on this. I didn't like how they did it. Okay, you pass him the belt, he drops it. Like, what the fuck? But then again, it's like, so Joe could come with a promo saying, "No, you be your ego," which I forgot what it was. What he said a promo that same night, but I forgot about his ego and all this shit. And looks like there you go. You got their matchup. We have Vago. We got the I Quit match with Darby and John Moxley. Where is that going to end? That's going to be the main event for sure to end it there. We got the return of Andrade, which if we see an Andrade Kenny Omega at Wrestle Dream, I don't mind it. Even though I would have wanted.
I don't think it's a bad call.
I don't think so either. I think of at least something for Andrade and Kenny. Then again, we could have had Kenny versus Kyle for the TNT belt, since Kyle was the one that took him out in the first place before before All Out. When he to the suplex, to the table. But I guess another direction. Unless they start building the story for Mark Briscoe to go after that belt for the TNT versus Cal Fletcher.
I mean, they kind of already has, if you think about it.
Yeah, but they left off.
He beat MJF, which basically puts him at main event status. So him beating Kyle Fletcher, if they decide to go that route, wouldn't really surprise a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that build up, but you see, they got enough time because Wrestle Dream. Let's find what is Wrestle Dream. Let me see. Let me find out. Let's see. Wrestle Dream is not until October 18th, so we're just ready the first weekend. They got 2 weeks to build the story, build up the pay-per-view matches. I mean, and also we got the rematch. Well, we got a match, not a rematch, but a one-on-one match. Timeless Tony Storm and Chris Statlander, of course. And I hope that Timeless puts over Chris and let Chris win clean and give her the hype that she needs to have after what? How long has she been in the company and never won the belt? How long has it been? What, 4 years, right? 4 years? Has she ever got the last title shot? Was it like around 4 years? I don't remember if it was. But, I'm happy that she's doing that. And let's see. Let me go to the chat right quick. Let's see. Steven saying, hate the new Judgment Day team. I don't like it either. I know Dom won't be the face because he isn't reuniting. No, he's not going to reunite with his dad. I don't see that. Why TKO don't love Penta? I don't know either. We're here. I wish I knew that answer. Bagel saying, Finn, I feel a better face just because all he needed to do is to change his entrance and he's a face. That's right. He can bring back the old school theme song from NXT. I haven't been into Hangman's reign. My fault. It's the challengers he had, and that's where it's now putting Tony Khan and Bagel into the situation where now that you have two of your stars that are out and were wrestling with an injury, and now they're out for the rest of the year, not sure how long, which is Will Ospreay and Swerve. This is now your plan B, and now MJF's on a honeymoon. This is your plan B. He needs to find great challengers for Hangman, because when he had his first run, it wasn't the greatest title run. This one, I hope he makes it a great title run, because all that hype, him winning it, at All In, winning the belt from Moxley was a great anticipation. Now the fallout is where he needs to step up, and now, we got to give credit, even though the stories, Bagel, were not up to it doesn't intrigue, but the matches itself were amazing. Like him and Kyle, and it really, at the end of the day, didn't hurt Kyle. If anything, it helped Kyle Fletcher to be a future world champion, and he can make that and prove to the world he can main event a pay-per-view, and he proved that with Hangman. Hangman did him that favor, so I could see the same Samoa Joe and Hangman, the same situation at Wrestle Dream. They got 2 weeks. They can build this up. They can build it even tonight a Collision with promos, and then heading into it from Dynamite, and then the following Collision, then the week from there to build the promos and the face-to-face. So they have the time to build it, and it's just doing it right is where, in order for the fans to get, to get hype for it. And I think that's where right now Tony Khan is learning he's learning how to book his stories ahead of the game. But he's learning as of yet how to developing them to be a hype for his upcoming pay-per-views. And this is where he needs to. This is his start with the Hangman's title ring. And Tony deserves a vacation. Oh, yes, she does. And next week, NXT, TNA, New Japan events. That's right, because we do have New Japan, of course, on the 13th coming up, which is Konosuke versus Zack Sabre for the IWGP Championship. That's for sure. Chris Sanders retaining. Yeah, I hope so too, Christopher. Lashley is right there. But we got to give it to the Hurt Syndicate, though, man. They're putting over the talent. I feel they did the right move how they put over, the Gates of Agony and Ricochet. And seeing that they're going to have their street fight on Tuesday, on title fight Tuesday. So that's going to be something to see. Who knows? We might get Lashley maybe later going after the singles belt. But I like how they're doing it right now. I like at least that, what's going on with it. And now it's like I said, Tony Khan got 2 weeks to give us stories. I'm hoping tonight he announces the bracket for the women's tag team tournament, which should have started tonight to head into Wrestle Dream to crown the first ever women's tag team champions. We did see Monet and then Hardy Cameron won the puppet. We should be tag team partners. But it's just maybe so. We don't know what's going to happen there. But they now have
Now that Tony got every woman healthy, this is the opportunity where he could build up, starting in Collision. If he could announce it, or maybe Dynamite, okay, I guess. Starting off tonight at Collision, announcing the bracket, who's the participants. Wednesday, starting at least to have the two matches, and the two matches in Dynamite, 2 matches on Collision, like on Tuesday, excuse me, and on Title Fight Tuesday, and then on Collision, Homecoming, they could do it there. Then the last week heading into Wrestle Dream, put the semifinals on the show on Dynamite, the finals into heading to Wrestle Dream. So hopefully they could do that. Let's just hope that. And I think it is going to happen, Steven, as much as you say no, unless Tony Khan makes the announcement that it happens on Tuesday, Kenny Omega versus Andrade on Title Fight Tuesday. So far we only got 2 announcements for Title Fight Tuesday, which is, of course, the street fight between Hurt Syndicate and the Gates of Agony and Ricochet. That's by far what we got. I forgot what was the other announcement. There was another match that was announced. Oh, that's right. Brodito, I'm not sure is for those tag team titles, but they'll be facing Konosuke Takeshita and Kazuchika Okada. I don't know if it's for the belts, and if it is for the belts, this is where it starts, where we see Konosuke heading to that direction that he might separate himself and maybe cost a match or make a mistake, and Okada blames him. And this is where you see Okada going over there to Japan, costing Konosuke to win the IWGP World Championship from Zack Sabre Jr. And then you can have your dream matchup between them two. Maybe if not a Wrestle Dream, maybe it could happen at Full Gear. That could be the case here. And what is the Ring of Honor Pure Championship? Is it the tournament still going, right? Or is it not? That's a good question. War Hero, I haven't paid attention to Ring of Honor's Pure Championship tournament. I could look in. I'm not quite sure who is who on that. What's the situation there? I don't know who's in the finals on that one. So I have to see who is. And by far, I got to double check on that one. So definitely got to see. See JT saying Andrade is literally this generation's Jeff Jarrett. I'm here for it. Of course. That's right. Did you see the Omega Andrade in Triple Couple? Yes, I remember that. For the Mega World Championship. I remember that. It was actually not a bad match. It was actually great. The tournament, I believe, is still going. Yeah, I don't know who the participant for the women's one, Steven. I'm not sure where Billy Stark stands on that tournament. Yeah, Pure, yes. But no, Papi Henry, he's talking about the women's one. Because you know how they have the women's Pure Championship for the women. So it was a great match. Actually, I remember that. It was actually a great match. So I wouldn't mind seeing them happening on Title Fight Tuesday. That could be the case on this one. So we just gotta have to wait and see. It's just at least right now we gotta give credit that Tony Khan is at least by far has settled in what he's having for the pay-per-view. But I'm hoping tonight he announces the bracket for the women's tag team titles tournament. He needs to do that tonight. If he lackluster on that, then it's a damn shame, because this could be their chance for, obviously the pay-per-view called Wrestle Dream, make it a dream come true for 2 women to have the first ever women's tag team championships for AEW. So I hope that Tony Khan does it tonight, announces who is going to be on that, on that bracket. Let's just hope so. So I mean, we're going to have to wait and see how this is all going to turn out to be. We know that, I don't know what's going to be the ending of the Moxley and Darby. Is this going to be the end? This is going to just end it all? What is going to happen? Oh, and I forgot to announce that Pac is having his return match, and it's going to be, I believe, on Title Fight Tuesday. He's fighting, I believe, Orange Cassidy. So this is his return for this. So we got to have to wait to see how it goes from there. And so far, I mean, that's what we got. I mean, we know that next week, folks, is going to be the hype up, the anticipation we're going to be getting. That is, of course, the road to heading into Perth. But of course, the first stop is, NXT Showdown with the TNA. How's that going to do? Because they're going to be the road to Bound for Glory as well, happening coming up this next Sunday. And hopefully from here we can see what Tony Khan does of building 2 weeks to build up stories and book the matches that he's going to be having at Wrestle Dream. Like I said, I hope that he announced it tonight, that bracket, and really start developing plotting stories heading into Wrestle Dream, because that's what he needs to do. But I think the story that intrigues me is the Konosuke and Okada. It needs to happen. If it's a clusterfuck, then not winning those belts from Brodito, it begins there. And this is where Okada is going to cost Konosuke to not win that IWGP from Zack Sabre. And then you can have your matches either Wrestle Dream or Full Gear. So I'd rather see it, or make it or just book it at Wrestle Dream and make it a trilogy between them. Best out of 3. So who knows? We're going to have to wait and see on that. Pepsi Phil, do you have any other thoughts before we close it out here? Any other final words? Anything else? So, okay, looks like Pepsi Phil's busy, folks. So that's what it is right here. So, but yes, folks. Oh, well, that was all for this evening, folks, for this show. But like the best, but before I even mentioned the best and worst call is I guess we could say right now the worst call is really lackluster booking was WWE, when it's just another stop for them for Purse. It's not a big a deal, as they're going to be making Survivor Series a big deal. And even they got to have a Saturday night main event as well coming up before Survivor Series. So we're going to have to wait to see how they do it here. I hope they do something right. And I'm hoping that NXT as well for Halloween Havoc, they're able to do something. So we're going to have to wait to see what the story develops. But I think the ones that I feel is going to be the most anticipating ones to pay attention during the week is the Konosuke situation. And besides the showdown, but also the Mike Santana situation heading into Bound for Glory, and really pay attention to what's going to happen on Raw. Are we going to be having another matchup on Raw that is going to be the 5th match for the card for Purse heading this week and up? Okay, Deonna Purrazzo, Serena Deeb, Queen Aminata, Trish Adora, Billy Starks in the tournament. Thank you, Stephen. So there you go. So there's your answer right there, War Hero. So we got it there from Stephen. But yes, folks, looks like it is about that time. Because, of course, attorney at law, myself, we have family matters to attend to. And that is for sure. Yep, that's right. Oh, that's right. Yuka Sakazaki. That's right. That's his wife now. So kudos to her. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. But we appreciate you all. This is
Autobots, transform and roll out.
Mario, how are you? Hopefully feeling better, brother. You caught us at a bad time. I'm actually closing it out here. But I hope you have an incredible Saturday evening. Watch the replay. For sure. But no collision tonight, folks, unfortunately. We got to go to, unfortunately, families and attend, matters that we have to attend to. But tomorrow I'll be here for karaoke with Kayla and friends. So that's for sure. Just like this dog has name. But it is that time, ladies and gentlemen, and I appreciate you all for joining us here for this flagship show. The flagship show will be back on Tuesday, folks. It'll be a doubleheader on Tuesday, followed by we'll be opening up with on Tuesday. We'll be giving our predictions for Purse, and then we'll be giving our predictions for Bound for Glory, and we'll be, giving our predictions for Showdown before we head into Showdown. Followed by to see the watch party with Redeemer and watch the Showdown. That will be on Tuesday, folks, for another flagship show so we could head into, and keep in mind, we're not doing the live watch party for Purse. We're gonna do a rewatch of it. That's what we're doing, because we're not getting up at 5 in the morning or 7 in the morning. No, we're gonna watch it after. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget tomorrow. Come back tomorrow, folks, for karaoke night with Kayla and friends. And I'm telling you, folks, you're gonna have a great karaoke, live singing for all of you guys. Can't wait to see. But other than that, for behalf of Pepsi Phil and myself, folks, we appreciate y'all for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button and notification bell where you get all your notifications. And remember, you guys are the MVPs. We appreciate you for everything. It's a love and support. For growing. We're growing all of us together because of you guys. We love you guys for everything what you guys do for us. Like I said, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. We're the road to heading to 2K. And, don't forget the link tree's right below where you get all your merch. You follow us on social media platforms. And, a lot of things are coming up. We're trying to close out the year right and having a fresh new start in 2026 for all of you guys. So we appreciate you again for everything. And until then, folks, we don't just derail, discuss, debate. When sometimes detonate, you don't want to detonate somebody, but you already know that we do the 3 best words here of all time, and that is we make history. See you guys tomorrow. Karaoke, don't miss it. Peace.
Must bid you adieu, a goodbye, mwah, and good night. Over. Will over and over. Make over and over. History over and over.